Have you ever wondered what it really takes to build a perfect, high-tech factory from the ground up, especially in the world we live in today? Well, we're about to break down an actual strategic plan for doing exactly that, focusing on how to pull off a successful startup. Okay, let's get into it. So that's the million-dollar question, right? How do you actually build the perfect factory? We're not just talking about shiny new machines here. We're talking about designing a whole system that can handle anything the world throws at it and still deliver flawlessly. And the answer, it turns out, isn't some single magic bullet. It's a master plan, a blueprint that actually weaves together 4 different world-class strategies into one single powerful plan. And we're going to walk through every single one. First things first, we have to understand the why. Because this whole project isn't just about business, it's really a crucial mission, born out of necessity, and it's all happening in a place called Oudenarde in Belgium. Let's face it, the world is a pretty unpredictable place right now. We've all seen how fragile global supply chains can be. And there's this key concept called the bullwhip effect. You know, where one tiny little hiccup on one side of the world creates a massive tidal wave of problems on the other. All this chaos has created this urgent need for manufacturing we can actually rely on, right here in Europe. And here is the solution this plan puts on the table. A brand new factory for gallium nitride semiconductors. This is really powerful, next-gen stuff. But here's the kicker. It's not just a new building on an empty plot of land. It's being built on a site that already has 30 years of deep experience making high-stakes components for the auto industry. That kind of heritage, that's a massive, massive head start. All right, so let's get into the first piece of this blueprint. Because it's not enough to just make a great product. You have to create an offer that is so compelling, so irresistible, that your customers feel like they absolutely can't live without it. To pull that off, the plan uses something called the value equation from Alex Hormozi. It's actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. To make your offer more valuable, you either have to boost the top half, that's the customer's dream outcome and their belief that you can actually deliver, or you have to shrink the bottom half, the time and the hassle it takes for them to get it. And this is where you really see that strategic shift in action. See, the old way of thinking was all about one thing, the lowest possible price. But the new dream result, what they call the Oudenarde promise, it isn't about being the cheapest. No way. It's about offering things that are way more valuable today. Security of supply, technological independence, and a partnership in Europe you can actually trust. That completely changes the game. Okay, so you've got this killer offer. Now, how do you build a factory that can actually deliver on that promise? This brings us to the second part of the blueprint, designing the place for maximum efficiency, right from day one. Now, a semiconductor factory is not a simple assembly line where things move from A to B to C. Not even close. It's an incredibly complex dance. A silicon wafer follows what's called a re-entrant flow, which means it has to go back to the same machines over and over again for different layers. Trying to manage that without creating total gridlock is a monster of a challenge. And to solve that puzzle, here is the incredibly sharp, ambitious target they set. The goal for cycle time is a factor of less than 2. What that means is the total time a product spends in the factory, from the very beginning to the very end, has to be less than double the amount of time it's actually being worked on. That shows you just how obsessed they are with crushing wasted time. Being efficient is one thing, but in the world of semiconductors, quality is absolutely everything. So the third layer of this blueprint is all about a relentless, data-driven chase for perfection. And the tool for that is Six Sigma. Seriously, just look at this number. It is staggering. The goal of Six Sigma is to get to a quality level where you have fewer than 3.4 defects for every million chances to make one. Just think about that for a second. That is as close to perfect as humans can possibly get. And when you're making millions of these things, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. So how do you measure your progress towards that perfection? It all comes down to a key metric called Overall Equipment Effectiveness, or OEE. It basically asks 3 simple questions. Is your machine running? Is it running as fast as it should be? And is it making good parts? So when you multiply those 3 factors together, the ultimate target, the holy grail, is an OEE of 85%. That number is the globally recognized benchmark for what it means to be a truly world-class manufacturer. And this is the key insight. OEE isn't just a grade you get on a report card. It's a diagnostic tool. See, if your availability is low, that tells you you're wasting time. That's a lean problem. If your quality is low, that tells you your process is inconsistent. That's a Six Sigma problem. OEE is the one number that ties it all together. And this is where you see it all come together on one integrated dashboard. You've got the 85% OEE goal, the defect target, on-time delivery, and that crazy cycle time goal. Every single target is tied directly back to one of the core strategies. It's the command center for the entire operation.
But you know what? A perfect factory is just a perfect island if the supply chain feeding it is a mess. And that brings us to the final crucial layer of the blueprint, a framework for mastering the entire end-to-end global supply chain. For this, the plan uses the APIX framework, which gives you 3 integrated layers of control. The easiest way to think about it is like this. CPIM manages everything that happens inside the 4 walls of the factory. CLTD designs the physical logistics network outside the factory, and CSCP is the 30,000-foot view, managing the global strategy, your suppliers, and all the risks. And here's a fantastic real-world example of that top strategic layer in action. To handle geopolitical risk, the plan calls for a multi-sourcing strategy. So instead of being dependent on one single country for critical minerals, you build relationships with allied nations like Australia and Canada. That is how you build a supply chain that won't break. So we've got the 4 core strategies. The big question now is, how do you take this amazing, complex blueprint and actually make it happen in the real world? Let's look at the final implementation plan. See, this isn't just a dream. It's a concrete 3-year roadmap. Year 1 is all about laying the foundation and getting stable processes. Year 2 is about optimization, training, and really integrating everything. And by year 3, the goal is to hit industry leadership status and achieve true operational resilience. I just love this connection. The city of Oudenarde is historically famous for its incredible world-class craftsmanship making tapestries. So this new factory, it isn't just a factory, it's the next chapter in a centuries-long legacy of excellence, shifting from masterful weaving to high-tech manufacturing. And that brings us to one final big idea to leave you with. This entire blueprint really suggests something powerful. What if the future of manufacturing isn't just about making better things, but about getting better at mastering the incredible, overwhelming complexity of the world we all live in?